thing around water kind of guy.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I love fish. So
I don't
people
agree.
in retirement,
Mm-hmm.
right, when they talk about retirement and they dream about what they want to do, what they don't want to do, if they can't
I'll tell you one
afford
thing.
it,
If they were dreaming about retirement and you showed them a New York beach, you just crush their
no,
dreams.
They don't retire
If they want to
in
retire
New
there,
York.
I'm just saying.
You can't retire in New York.
But I also think that maybe some people think that their dreams probably aren't achievable just because of how about someone who started off late? Then what?
Word.
Which we see that. How many times do you see that?
Oh,
When I
all
was
the
younger,
time.
I wish I was.
Correct. They always
Put
do
away
it.
more,
And they're
right?
usually like 43, 44.
No, that's still young. I see it at like 58.
No, so I say they have that realization when they're like 43, 44.
Yeah.
They go, oh,
It's almost like going to the doctor, right? When you're in your
I had so
20s, you
much
didn't go.
opportunity when I was
Yeah.
30, when I was 20, but I was
I missed
outside
this.
partying.
Yeah, I missed this.
Right?
Or maybe they weren't partying. Maybe they just started life early, right? Maybe they had kids young. Maybe they just weren't in a situation where they were like fortunate to have opportunities where maybe they had to grow up a lot younger, right?
Well, we are from the generation that didn't have Daddy Warbucks or Uncle Scrooge.
Right.
Priorities is a real thing.
Sure.
We talked about realistic goals, not succumbing to instant gratification.
Right.
You have to pick and choose your battles, or you will eventually lose the entire war. So if you go out every day like it's Saturday, you cannot expect Monday through Friday money. It's just impossible because you treat it like every day was Saturday.
Right.
You can have your cheat days. You can go, sure, oh, it's my birthday and I want to do this. But I think the biggest thing that we've been saying since we have a lot of acronyms and one-liners is living beneath your means.
Yeah.
And that comes with realistic expectations. You cannot have a rock star mentality when you rely on a check on the first and the 15th. It's impossible. You're setting yourself up a failure.
So you know how like some people would take like living below your means almost as like a sacrifice, right?
Yeah, I don't understand why they think that's a sacrifice.
I guess because they see like, wow, like everything I worked for now I have to give up. Like I want this, but now I can't have that because I need to do a X, Y, and Z.
Do you?
I mean, I'm all for it.
Short-term goals. We have intermediate goals. We have long-term goals. Right.
Right.
If your long-term goal is A, and by doing B in the short term affects A, you don't do B. It's very, very simple.
To us.
No, we're not gonna do that.
It is. It's to us.
It's not complicated. If your long-term goal is A,
Right.
in doing something in the short term, B is affecting A. Is A more important than B, or is B more important than A? It is that simple a thing.
It's simple,
It's that simple.
but common sense isn't so common.
No, it's very common.
We sit down with how many people,
This is cool.
and they know, like,
We
listen,
talked about controlling yourself,
right?
right? Ambitions. It is that simple. If I want to achieve this, and I am doing that, and that is affecting this, we have to stop doing that.
So you sit down with people every single day, right? We both do. Out of 10 people, how many do you see
That's cool.
like live above their means?
Yeah.
Probably like, what, 80?
No, 7 out of
7 to
10
8,
people,
right?
7 to 8 people are living above their means, which is mathematically incorrect.
Right.
And it's cool until it's not.
Right.
So if your goal, yet again,
Love it.
right?
Love it. Yeah, go ahead.
You have to have
Right.
unapologetic goals,
Right.
right? And you have to make sure that they're one, attainable,
Mm-hmm.
and two, they're inexcusable. Meaning you can make no excuse
Right.
for not achieving said goal, right? Especially if you're the one in control.
Has it happened to you when you going through let's say someone's portfolio, or the expenses, and they almost become like kind of like ashamed and they kind of like take it out on you?
Oh no, they have to
Not on you. I'm not saying that
take
I'm
it
not saying that they
themselves.
beat you up. We know that you know how to fight.
That part.
I'm talking about
Love.
talking about the sense where they kind of feel like it's like your fault. They kind of like distance themselves,
Yeah.
right? So what do you have to like?
So
How do
it's
you treat that? I
it's
mean, I
that
treat it a
odor
certain
that
way.
we were talking about, right?
Right, yeah.
Sometimes you don't want to smell yourself,
Right.
or you go nose blind,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you're not keeping score, then you're not really playing the game.
Right.
They're just warm ups.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a lot of individuals that come to me and they're inspiring traders.
Right.
They say, "Hey, I'm paper trading." That's a great way to practice. It's amazing. Go for it.
Right.
Start to figure out how the dynamics and the functions work if you weren't a part of the financial community.
Right. Right.
Paper trading is a lot different when the money is real, because now we talked about it. You have emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You have pressure. You're putting pressure on yourself. Now
Right.
these shots matter. There's a clock ticking down,
Right. And you have to perform.
and you have to.
You have to.
perform.
There's no
If
choice.
you don't perform, you're not just losing. You're losing money.
Right.
And
And
if you're losing
yeah.
money, that means you're losing time, because a lot of people have to trade in their time
for money. Yeah.
So now you're losing twice. And now you're aggravated.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're turned off
Right.
from doing said thing,
Yeah.
right? Which is fine. It's a learning experience, and you can't learn and you can't grow without that adversity and without that punishment first,
Right.
right? We talked about like working out. You have to break yourself down to get stronger.
Sure.
You have to fatigue your muscles so they can grow bigger.
Right.
Cool. You get endurance. You get stamina. Amazing. It's the same mental makeup. The only difference is you are your own hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people get in their own way.
Right.
So if you're not looking at your budget, if you're not looking at your credit card statements, if you're
We
not
see that
opening your
all
mail,
the time.
if you're not looking at the notification that says, "Hey, you're approaching $2,000 spent
Right. Right.
on your $3,000
Right.
credit limit card,"
Absolutely.
maybe you should stop.
And that we have like the highest debt and credit card history.
Hands down.
Right.
So a lot of individuals always speak to me about how to manage their credit cards
Mm-hmm.
and debts, and living beneath your means allow you to do that.
And knowing what the hell your credit card does.
There you go.
That happens all the time. You know,
There you
not
go.
all credit cards are the same.
Not all credit cards are the same.
Definitely
I know
not.
that we live in the perk community. We live in the cash back community.
Yeah.
I just want you to know, 1% cash back and 1.5% cash back. That means for every $100 you spend, you will get $1 or $1.50 back.
It's crazy.
So if you're trying to milk cash back, just remember you have to spend that money,
Right.
right? It was something called like splavings, right? I spent $100, but they gave me 60% off, so I saved 60.
Right.
No, you spent $40.
And that's not even including the interest that you have to pay if you don't pay that off, because now you're in the negative.
Correct. Now you're in the negative. So we already have downside effects from inflation,
For sure.
cost of living, purchasing power, and consumer goods. Now, when you add debt and interest,
Right.
especially consumer interest, consumer interest is bad, right? Mortgage we can't get around. You don't have the lump sum to pay for the house. You get a mortgage, which
Yeah.
is fine. That's
That's
a good
Yeah, that's a good debt to
type
have.
of debt,
Yeah.
because now you can actually leverage
For sure.
the lump sum amount that you didn't have to shell out.
And it's an asset. It's an asset.
It would be considered an asset.
An asset
It's
as
an
well.
asset once it's paid off. It's a liability.
Yes.
You're a landlord.
I am.
There you go. So for the average human, American, it's a liability. No matter how much they tell you it's an asset, it can be an asset,
It could be used as an asset.
but it is debt. You can collateralize that debt instrument for borrowing power, which is advanced planning solutions.
To be fair, also depends on what type of home it is. If it's a multifamily, single family, that's a whole different ballgame.
Correct. Like I said,
Yeah.
complexities,
Yeah,
advanced
yeah.
planning,
Yeah.
right? For the average,
The average person, yeah.
you're not purchasing a multifamily.
Actually, nowadays, I think it's like $800 a month cheaper to rent its own.
Well, we know why.
Yeah.
What is it? Remax. What's the other one? The Zillow of the
Zillow,
world. Those big companies
Remax,
buying all the houses.
BlackRock.
Black Rocks of the world.
Before,
flipping them and
yeah.
having you.
Mhm.
So we talk about supply and demand,
Yep.
right? So
So
you have
true.
outside factors. Once again, outside factors
Mm-hmm.
impacting your portfolio. Don't add to that negative effect by hurting yourself. If you want to learn to be fiscally focused, click the link below and follow us.